Namaste students, welcome to statistics class. Yesterday we completed with the third chapter, that is classification and tabulation. There we studied how to classify the data, what data we collect that we classified initially according to their common characteristics. After classifying the information, then we represent in the form of table, that we call it as tabulation. What is the purpose of tabulation? We tabulate the information so that that particular information can be used in a further or in a future use. It will be easy to use. For that purpose, we tabulate the information. What comes next after classification and tabulation? There comes diagrammatic and graphic presentation of data. So it's a fourth chapter. Now today we will begin with the fourth chapter, that is diagrammatic and graphic presentation of data. What we present in the form of graphs, what information we tabulate, the same information we present in the form of graphs and diagrams. Why we need to present in the form of graphs and diagrams? See, classification, tabulation we present in the form of tables. Yes, it is easy when it compared with classification. But still, when we see the numerical information, it is a bit difficult to understand. At a single glance, it is a bit difficult to understand. But if we use that same information in the form of graphs and diagrams, it will be easy to understand. The graphs and diagrams, usually these are self-explanatory. It is not necessary to someone to explain the graphs and diagrams. Once if we glance at the graphs and diagrams, it is easy to understand. So that for that purpose, we present the tabulated data in the form of graphs and diagrams. One is for the purpose of the more simpler presentation of the data. That form is graphs and diagrams. And also easy to compare. If we present in the form of diagrams or graphs, it is easy to compare. And it is easy to understand for a common man. Here it is not necessary to explain by someone else. So that is the purpose to move towards the diagrammatic and graphic presentation of data. And when we prepare diagrams or graphs, we need to follow some of the rules and regulations that we need to follow. There were some of the rules and regulations in the preparation of table. While preparing table also, we need to follow some of the rules and regulations. In the same way, we need to follow in case of diagrams and graphs, we have to follow some of the rules and regulations. So let us see now what are those rules and regulations. In that first comes that is suitable title. Before preparing any of the table or graphs, we need to provide a proper title. How we need to provide in case of tables? We need to provide a proper title for the diagram. Diagram representing the population of India. Or this chart showing the population of India, or the production of wheat or the production of rice. Such kind of title we need to provide. That is the first rule. Then the next one, proper scale. It is very important in case of graph, especially in case of graph. The proper scale we should take. But the scale is according to the size of the paper we need to take. If the size of the paper is large, we can take the reasonable scale we can take. If the size of the paper is bit short, then according to that we need to take the scale. So proper scale must be taken, but while taking scale, we need to see the size of the paper. According to the size of the paper, we need to take the scale. Then comes third one, that is neat and attractive. It should be the diagrams or graph. It should be neat and attractive. So it is the main purpose of the diagrams and graphs. If it looks neat or attractive, then it can be easily understandable to any of a common man. So we need to present the diagram in a neat and attractive manner. It has to be neat and attractive. Otherwise, it will fail to convey what it wants to convey. That particular diagram or the chart, it fails to convey what it wants to convey if it is not neat or attractive. Then next one, should not be overloaded. The graphs or diagrams, it shouldn't be overloaded. It should be the sufficient information which is able to convey, or which is easy to convey, or which is easy to draw. It should contain the information which is necessary. It shouldn't be overloaded. Same like Same like tables. Table also it shouldn't be overloaded. Then here suitable shades. It's also very important. We need to provide the suitable shades because it has to differentiate. It has to differentiate between the information. For example, we are showing the wheat and the production of wheat and rice. Wheat and rice we are showing. While preparing, we are preparing their bar graphs. The wheat and the rice. Here also wheat and rice. Different years, 2000 and 2001. How to differentiate if we prepare like this? So, for wheat, we have to give one particular kind of shade. For rice, we have to give some other kind of shade. And if we give the different shades, or if we provide different shades, or we can give color also, we can easily differentiate between the factor. We can easily differentiate between the topic which we have chosen. And it should contain index. Now here we shaded or we colored the rice and wheat. We have given different kinds of shade. But how we are able to understand that it is this one is rice and it is wheat? So there should be an index should be provided in order to understand what this particular shade is and what this particular shade is. So here also we have to give same shades to the index, and we have to write here it represent this kind of shade represent rice and this kind of shade represent wheat. Index must be provided. If you do not provide index, you will lose marks, and if you do not shade where shading is necessary. Sometimes your diagram represents only one particular factor, wheat, not necessary. With all the factors, for example, you are representing only wheat, so shading is not necessary. But where you are showing more than two, where you are showing more than one information or data, you have to provide a proper shading, and index must be provided. Then it should be self-explanatory. As I said, the graphs or diagrams, it should be self-explanatory. For that purpose only we are providing graphs or diagrams for the tabulated information. If it is in the form of table, we need to provide the information. But if we prepare graphs and diagrams, it's not necessary to provide any of the explanation by someone else. By seeing that graph, we can understand. So here the wheat. Here with the growth of the wheat, and here also growth of the wheat, it has gone up. The growth of the rice production, we can see easily, or it will be self-explanatory. So it should be self-explanatory. So that these are the rules of the diagrams or graphs. Now next we will see what are the different kinds of types of the diagrams. When we see, firstly we are seeing the diagrams, then we move towards the graph. Firstly we are going to see the diagrams, then we are seeing the graph. What is the main difference? One difference is diagrams we draw in the paper itself, the plain paper or the ruled paper, whatever it is, the normal paper we draw the diagram. But graph, while representing graph, we have to use the graph sheets. In case of graph, we have to draw it on the graph sheet, but diagrams we can use it in the normal sheet, the plain paper or ruled paper we can use. So these are the difference between the graphs and diagrams. You should not draw graph on the plain paper, you have to draw it in the graph sheet. This we can draw in the plain normal paper. Now the types. Now we are moving towards the types of diagrams. Types of diagrams. First one comes there, one-dimensional diagrams. One-dimensional diagrams. The second kind of diagram is two-dimensional diagrams. Two-dimensional diagrams. Next comes there three-dimensional diagrams. Three-dimensional diagrams. dimensional diagram and pictograms and cartograms. Now, according to your syllabus, we are seeing only these two kinds of diagrams, that is one-dimensional diagram and two-dimensional diagrams. These two are, it is not there according to your syllabus. We are not going to study the three-dimensional diagrams and pictograms and cartograms. But it is there in case of text. What are the types of diagrams means you have to write this 4. For the what are one-dimensional diagrams means different kinds of diagrams are there. That we will see now what are one-dimensional diagrams. Now, this three-dimensional and pictograms and cartograms, it is only for the types of diagrams we will just mention, but we are not studying according to your syllabus. Now, we'll take there the first one-dimensional diagram. One-dimensional. Now, what do you mean by one-dimensional diagram? The diagram which we draw based on only one dimension. The diagram which we draw based on only one dimension, that we call it as one-dimensional diagram. What is that one dimension? That is length. The diagram which we draw only based on length, where we consider length, not the width. The diagram which is drawn based on length, where we consider only the scale only for the length, but not for the width. Here width is only for the purpose of attraction. We are taking equal weight, but only consideration there it is length. So one-dimensional diagrams are those diagrams where diagrams are drawn based on one dimension, that is length. Based on one dimension, that is length. What you have to write? What do you mean by one-dimensional diagram means? The diagram which is drawn based on one dimension, that is length. Such kind of diagrams we call it as one-dimensional diagram. The diagram which is drawn based on length, one dimension. Two-dimensional means length as well as width we are considering. One dimension means only length we are considering. Here width we are drawn for the purpose of attraction, only for the purpose of attraction. Then what are those one-dimensional diagrams? How many kinds of one-dimensional diagrams are there? Here you are going to study 4 kinds of one-dimensional diagrams. We will see what are those ones. Then we can discuss one by one. Now in that first one-dimensional diagram, the simple bar diagram. First comes the simple bar diagram. Then comes the second one, multiple bar diagram. Then third one, subdivided or component bar diagrams. One-dimensional diagrams are bar diagrams. Then the last one, percentage bar diagram. Now, these are the 4 kinds of one-dimensional diagram. What is one-dimensional diagram? Which considers only one dimension, that is length. And which are the types of one-dimensional diagram? That is simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, subdivided or component bar diagram, and percentage bar diagram. So here there are 4 kinds of bar diagrams. What are the types of diagram? One-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, pictograms and cartograms. And in one dimensional, further it divided into 4: simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, subdivided and percentage bar diagram. So here diagrammatic and graphic presentation of data. We have seen some of the rules and we have gone through the types. Now we are going through the types one by one. Simple bar diagram, multiple, subdivided, percentage along with the example. For each bar diagram, I will give two example. It is very easy and easy to score marks. This chapter is very easy. Now we will move towards the first one, simple bar diagram. Now we will see that the types of one-dimensional diagram one by one. In that first one, the simple bar diagram. What is simple bar diagram? Simple bar diagram, it's a rectangular bars of equal width. It's a rectangular bars of equal width are drawn in order to represent the given data. In order to represent the given data. For example, see here. Here the following figures represent the change of population of India. Change of population of India. Draw a simple bar diagram. So here how we need to represent the change of population of India. We represent by using the rectangular bars. So simple bar diagram is a rectangular bars of equal width are drawn in order to represent the data. Here the equal width are taken for the purpose of attraction. Only we consider the length according to the data. What data they have provided in the different years that we take in order to represent the data, and here width is taken only for the purpose of attraction. Means it should look neat or it should look attractive. So that purpose equal width we are taking. For example, now on bar diagram, one bar is like this, one more is like this, and one more bar it is like this. Whether it looks neat? No, it doesn't look neat. So in order to present it in a proper way, we take the equal width, but here consideration is only length. So what we are representing here, this side we represent the years, different years, what they have the given, different years, or if countries are given, the countries. And the data we are taking in the vertical axis. In y-axis we take the data. Here x-axis we are not considering the scale. Here we take either according to this example we take year, and according to this example we take countries. And here scale is taken only for y-axis. So this is about the simple bar diagram. If one more question if it comes, what do you mean by simple bar diagram? It's a simple bar diagram is a rectangular bars of equal width are drawn for the purpose of representation of data. And here only length is considered, the length of the data is considered, and width is taken only for the purpose of attraction. If you write so, you will get 1 marks. If you write so, you will get 1 marks. Now we will see these two examples, simple bar diagram, how to draw a simple bar diagram. With this, we can complete with the simple bar diagram and we can move towards the next bar diagram, that is multiple bar diagram. Now we will see the first example. See that first example, read the example. The first one. Following figures represent the change of population of India. What we need to represent? The change of population of India. Draw a simple bar diagram. Show this particular data by using simple bar diagram. Y-axis and x-axis. Before that, what did I say? We have to write the title. What is the title? Simple bar diagram. Simple bar diagram representing change in population. Change in population. Simple bar diagram representing change in population of India. This should be the title. Then draw x-axis and y-axis. Here this side, here comes y-axis, and here it is x-axis. Here take the years. Along the x-axis take the years. Years from 1901 to 1991 we need to take 1, 11, 21, 1931, 1941, 1951, 1961, 1971, 1981, and last one 1991. Then here this side, here you write years, this side as well as this side, here years, and you represent population of the y-axis. Here we need to represent population in millions. Population in millions. Now see the population. What scale we need to take? What is better to take? Here it is 200, then here it is 300, here 400, 500, 600 till 800. Better to take, we start with 200, 400, 600, 800 and 1000. Or else we could have gone with 100, 200 also we can do. Which is better? We will go with 100, 200. Will be more clear. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 and 900. It's enough. Here what did I tell? Population. We are representing population in millions. Population in millions. Now, as I said, we need to take scale. We need to take scale on the y-axis. Here, since I am drawing on the board, I have not taken any proper scale. On an average, I have taken. While drawing here, you have to take a scale 1 centimeter. Proper, it should be 1 centimeter. Here you can take. Here also you take 1 centimeter, but we are not considering. If you take proper scale and if you draw, you can get equal width. You will get. But this scale is we are not considering. Here it should be a equal width. So scale, by writing scale, write here scale. Which one? Y-axis is equal to 1 centimeter. Y-axis is equal to 1 centimeter. What are the units? The 200. What gap we have taken is equal to 100 millions. 100 millions gap we have taken here. Then write the scale. Y-axis is equal to 1 centimeter we have taken. X-axis, if you take also you should not write because here only width is, only length is considered. Then now you see here in the first year 1901, what is the population? 238. The 238 approximately it will be here. Draw the bar diagram. 238. 238. This is the first one. The second one 1911 252. 252. First one it was 238. It is 252. This we can make it short. one was 252. This is 251. Next 278. 278. I think it is up to 300 we had taken. We'll write it down. 278. Next one 318. 318. 318. Next one 318. Draw this using scale. Next one 361. 361. The next one 439. 439. Next one 548. 548 and 688. 688 and the last one 846. Will erase this scale. Scale will write 688. The last one 680. Sorry, 846. Last one 846. 846. This is a simple bar diagram representing change in population of India. See here it is not necessary to show the index because only one information, the change in population in different years. That years we have shown here and population in millions we have taken here. Scale is equal to y-axis is equal to 1 centimeter equal to 100 millions. Gap, what gap we have taken? 100 million. This is the scale. This is about simple bar diagram. The first graph, simple bar diagram. One more we'll draw, then we can wind up with today's class. Now we'll see the second example. I hope it is clear. Firstly you have to write the heading and next you have to draw y-axis and x-axis. Here we need to represent the data. This gap you can take according to your convenience. Here I have taken 100, the width, the gap between the numbers. 200 also you can take according to the data and your convenience you can take. And here years we need to represent. Then this is the way of drawing simple bar diagram. It is very simple. Like its name itself, it says it's a very simple diagram. Then the second one we'll see, second example. That is represent the data regarding the population of different countries by simple bar diagram. Represent the this is also about population. Now here also we take x and y axis. This is about the population. The previous one about according to years they have taken. This one according to different country. The previous one it's about only about India. Here they have taken different countries. What title we need to take? The population of different countries. Simple bar diagram representing population of different countries. Different countries. Now countries will write. The first one it is China, then comes India, then comes USA, then Brazil, after that Pakistan, then last one Bangladesh. Countries, what we are representing here it is countries. Then y-axis again population, millions, population here also in millions. Now see the number 191, 185, 165, 1210, 309, 1341. Okay. Here we will take 200, 400. 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400. I hope it is enough. The last value is 1341. Okay, 1400. Take up to 1400. Now scale right here. Scale y-axis is equal to 1 centimeter is equal to what gap we have taken? 200 millions gap. Population 200 millions. Now see, China, that is 1341, means here it comes till here 1341. First one 1341. Next 1200 and 1210. Next comes 1210. 1210. That is the next one. India. Next one USA 309. USA it comes 309. Somewhere here after 200 we get 309. It's almost 400. 309. Next comes Brazil, that is 191. Brazil